Thundercats are go.
We're gone. Yeah, don't worry. Everybody's muted.
Okay. Hi, Tequila. I'm doing this live. Oh, thank you, Tequila. I appreciate that. I'm doing this live podcast. So that's why I'm here to tell everybody to find Highly Melanated podcast on YouTube or Facebook Live. Tequila, are you in town for New Year's Day class? I would love to see you in the room. It's a good time. I'm muted over here, right?
Hey guys, welcome to welcome officially to our first live stream of 2022. I think we haven't had one in quite some time. We are working out small little kinks here, and hey, this is what happens sometimes. PJ, welcome guys to another episode of Highly Melanated Podcast, the safe space where it is okay to stand in your greatness and follow your passions.
Like Come on, that. Greatness.
Okay. Stand in your greatness.
I want to be great.
Like
yes.
Step into it.
All right, and so I know you probably are a little strange. We have a guest on the show. You can't see her just yet, but she will be popping up momentarily. So you have PJ here.
PJ,
Red.
who are you?
I was about to say PJ what?
So a full disclosure, guys. You all know how we do here at the Highly Melanated Manor. So again, thank you again for taking that time to listen to another episode. PJ, I am actually streaming from Savannah, Georgia. I'm down here visiting family, so obviously the scenery looks a little bit different. So PJ is enjoying family time for the holidays.
Okay, I can deal with that. Red, I'm a little jealous, and I'm imagining myself on a beach somewhere. Red.
Blair, I will be spending Christmas somewhere warm also coming up too, so I'm excited about that. Blair.
Yes. And the gang is back. And as always, thank you for taking the time to listen. And presently, right now, at this time, watch another episode, another live stream of Highly Melanated Podcast. It's been a while, guys, since we've actually done a live stream. And this is the first time that we're actually doing it with this new program called Ecamm. So it's a learning curve. Catch us as we go. So, yeah. But as always, you can follow us on social medias that we are a part of, such as you have Instagram and TikTok. That is Highly Melanated Podcast.
You can email us at highlymelanatedpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can come on over with your pina coladas, your beach drinks, just to come on and relax on at Twitter at @H_melanatedpod.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the interesting thing was, okay, so for those of you who are watching this, if you also see this graphic here that was created, we are available for those of you who are watching the live stream. Hey guys, we're available on wherever you get your streaming. If you listen to podcasts, wherever you get them, such as Apple Music Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're also on Audible, Amazon Music, Pandora, and even iHeartRadio. So yeah, you can get us wherever you get podcasts. Yeah, this is why is part of me like really nervous as I'm doing this for the it's been such a while since this, so I'm a little nervous with this, so forgive.
You're nervous because of the
million time we've done this. Why are you nervous?
No, it's not like this is the first live stream we've ever done, but this is like the first time.
You're nervous of the visual aspect of it. That's why.
Yeah. It's funny when you sit on like the back end. Usually we were doing it through Zoom, and it's just like whatever it does, and now it's like, oh, is it pretty? So Anyway,
Well, that's good. That's quite all right. That's quite all right. I mean, you know what's funny about that? That can actually go right into my question of the week. And I wanted to ask yourself, it kind of is centered around centering yourself, actually. So, question of the week, your questions as they pertain to you prospectively, and I always lose my finger, prospectively and introspectively. There you go. So I'm really excited about this year coming up because one of the things that I'm doing is actually finding ways to both center my spirit, my mind, my emotions, as well as find new abilities. So I'm going to show you something that I did. This is the first time I'm really revealing it out on social media or any type of platform. But my question of the week is: do you have a hobby or do you have some type of routine that you are thinking of taking up in 2023? So I'll go first. And I started painting.
Oh,
that
Now,
was
the
really
funny
good. That
story
was
about
really, really good.
so this is my first adult painting ever. It is a painting of a rose for those of you guys that are not watching the visual portion of it. Uh, but here's the funny story about this. This was painted on the wrong paper and upside down.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. So
Because I had it right side up, but what happened was is that it fell and I just picked it up and I tried to, just get right into it
hey,
and I did
look,
that. So
who's to say that it's upside down?
there we go. It's
Okay,
all about perspective. It's all about
interpretive.
perspective.
you're absolutely right, and I just kept painting. But that's one of the things that have been actually been very soothing for me. So that is going to be a new hobby that I'm picking up for 2023.
Oh
I just love it.
gosh.
And you look like you're off to a tremendous start. We applaud you, sir. We applaud you.
Well, or is there a hobby that you don't want to do anymore? I don't know.
Okay, so centering, I'll answer this question. Centering myself, um, I feel I feel so uncentered at this moment. So I'm going to take a step back right quick because I think those of you who are watching this live, it's supposed to go in order, and I think we clicked and saw our guest, and so I want to actually, instead of just, I want to center this conversation and actually introduce and bring our guest up. Normally we would do that during, but things happen. Hey guys, you roll with the punches. Listen, and so Red.
Yes, absolutely. Well, for you guys that do know, and I'm glad that we're going to loop her in and ask her if there's any type of hobbies that she does. We have the amazing and illustrious, a really good friend of mine, and one that I have not seen in a very long time, Mariska E. Phillips. So, Mariska, no, for Mariska Shanice Phillips. I'm sorry,
Oh, what? Do over. Bring it back.
Mariska Phillips. There you
Thanks,
go.
thanks, pal of mine.
How are you, Mariska? I missed you
Hi.
so much.
I'm doing good. I was telling PJ, he asked, how are you doing? I said, I'm trying to stay productive and pretty, and I'll take that in any order. Okay.
Come on.
Look, that's what it's all about, right? Productive, pretty, and happy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing is that, I'm a very spiritual person. And even when I'm in a valley or a tough time, I find a way to create. Any day I can work with an actor is a good damn day.
Hmm.
That's
I may
amazing.
be crying all morning, but when I know I have a 1 p.m. session, I do my prayers, I throw on some CC wine in or something and get my
Hey,
life
get
together,
to business. I
all
love
the way
that.
together.
Well, Mariska, can I actually take the time and actually read your resume to everybody? Because I think for those who know, they know, but then there's so many people that don't know your talent, don't know who you are and what you mean to us and to many other actors. And so I'll just go right into it. You know, Mariska has been coaching other actors and has become a central part of Miss Phillips' career development. She has been an instrumental force in helping actors such as Method.
Yay!
Yes.
What a resume.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Thank you.
you know what? Actually, let's take a step back. Red, I believe that you did have something. Did you want to do that now, or did you want to do that later?
I did, but I didn't want to just bombard her like that because I don't think Mariska realizes or understands how much she's one of my favorite people on this world. And there's 8 billion people on this planet, so that's very important to me. But
Thank you.
coming on to today's show, I kind of didn't know what I was going to or wanting to say to you because I'm kind of a teacher's pet. At times, I want you to see the growth that I've had. I want you to be proud. I want you to be a part of the journey that I've been a part of. So I didn't know what I was going to write, but what I did was, and I know it's a little bit taboo, but you I utilized one of the tools that you had first suggested to us when I was in one of your first class, and that was the artist's way and reading the morning pages. So I'm not going to read the entire morning pages of this particular day, but I do want to just read part of it, and I just want you to be able to speak to that with, you know, when it comes to acting and actors and the journey that they're on. And I said. Um,
Mm.
and I guess herein lies some of the problems I start to overthink because I want it to be perfect. When dealing with acting and or particularly this podcast, it is heavy improv and just speaking off the cuff. Yet I find myself trying to manicure it all. I feel sometimes what I have learned or experiences that I had don't amount to much, so I try to live in the past. I want to be funny, so I try and think of the best jokes. I want to be insightful, so I search really, really deep, and I become frustrated when I surface with a blank canvas. I feel unworthy to reside in a space that I have found myself in. I feel like I am lame, and I feel like it's an accident, a one hit wonder, a one trick pony. And but fortunately, this is just the old me. It is but a false narrative. I may not know it all or can do it all yet, but that's not a story about the untalented or the journey of mediocre proportions. It's a tale of opportunity, how I am greater than adversity, and that winning has become my only option.
Mm.
So
Okay. Well,
it's mhm. Go ahead.
it's no, no. You were so it's. I want you to finish that thought. I didn't mean to jump in like that.
No, 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 absolutely. I think it just tells of the story because I have had a lot of struggle with myself to understand that I am worthy, that the things that I do are important, that they mean something, and that I can move forward. And I feel like a lot of actors sometimes get stuck where in that realm that they feel like they're not doing enough or that they're not talented enough or they're just not enough. And I think
Right.
you, as an amazing acting coach, I think not only do you give people the tools, but you pull out of them that you are worthy, that you are enough. So if you could just like talk to that and maybe just talk about maybe some of your tips and methods as to how you can be. um, an amazing actor, amazing in your craft, whatever that may be.
Right. Well, my first red flag was when you said I try to be perfect.
Hmm.
There, that's the biggest artist kill there is. It's right in the top three. Perfectionism. You can't approach it trying to be perfect. You have to approach it telling the truth, right? Um, and you want to get to the seed of that. What makes you think art has to be perfect? Because when you're on stage, when you're on set, on location, every pair of eyes that lays themselves upon the artist sees something different, like a Picasso. Some people may, there are things that stand out to different people. Your responsibility is not to be perfect. There's no fun in that. Show me
Mhm.
a perfect actor. I'll show you an actor that's not having a damn piece of fun because they're not having an experience. You want to have an experience. You're not having an experience if you're trying to get it perfect, and you're not in the moment if you're already in a result.
Yep.
Yep.
Right? And when a perfectionist mess up, they tend to beat up on their little baby artists, which draws them further back and further into themselves. It's not productive to have to get about. So when you're thinking and you're creating, you want to be aware. That's one of my favorite sayings. What are you aware of? Right?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
have to be aware of that internal dialogue. I I can speak because I grew up in that realm of perfectionism, being a backstage baby, watching my mother perform. My internal dialogue when I first started doing this kind of work was, am I doing it right? I
Yep.
kept asking myself that, and it was just not fun. Am I doing this right? Just that one question was jamming me up. And what we want to find ourselves in the characters. How can we find ourselves in someone that's perfect? We can't connect to that. So I say to the masses, bring me your mass. Give us your mass. That's how we get to learn and heal and grow and commune as artists and receive you as the storyteller.
And thank you for that, because I think a lot of people need to hear that.
Okay, so Mariska, um, I this is how much I adore you just now, because even in this moment, even though I'm not in the actor seat right now, I'm in the producer seat. You just really actually just recentered me and brought me back to present what we're actually doing here, and I really appreciate you in every essence, because you have a unique gift of not just using the right words, but actually understanding the energy that needs to be applied in
Mhm.
order for us to actually get whatever it is that we're doing, right? Striving for perfectionism, trying to be perfect. And then when you're not perfect, you start beating yourself up. I'm sitting here like beating myself up, like, and I don't know if you guys can see it because I don't know if I had it visually open, um, but that's my fault, right? But actually understanding that this is fun, this portion here, and then
Mhm.
translating this to even like the realm of acting, we're going to get further and further into this conversation, but I just wanted to thank you for that right there. Just
You're welcome. You're welcome.
yeah.
We had struggles today, you and I, right?
We've talked about it.
And I was like all like tense. I had to leave the house and go get a massage because I was like, this is not. I'm not operating in my essence. I'm not vibrating at the level I need to vibrate at to show
Mhm.
everyone my heart and my love for this craft. So I just like, you know, did what I had to do. I left the house, went and got a massage, and that just put me kind of back into my center place. And as an artist, you guys, your civilian shit will start jacking you up,
Mhm.
but you have to know how to take care of your artists. What'll get you in the essence of you? What'll get you vibrating in a place where you're ready to receive and give and take and share and experience, right?
Hmm.
And I was like, I can't afford. I'm going into my 17th year as an acting coach, and I can't afford to be mediocre. I can't afford to not be at my best. And I was like, okay, maybe we should reschedule it. And he was like, no, everything is set up. And I was like, okay, I'll get it together. I got
Yeah.
you. No worries. You know. So I mean, I'm glad that, and I want actors to know that even in our most adverse times, we can create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, some of our best work is done when we're being challenged because it's
Right.
like, now you have somewhere to put it as
Hmm.
an artist, and so that it's not in vain. You just accept it as your truth and share it.
So I think since we're, the train is moving with this conversation now, and one of the things that you said to begin with was, when an actor is looking to be perfect, that's kind of the kiss of death. Like that's like the very last thing that we should be focused on. And I
Yeah.
think one of the other things that comes up with that is, okay, if we're not striving to be perfect, the next thing we're looking for is validation. We're looking for some type of acceptance from the person who we're, or the audience that we're performing for. Because on some level, it's like, oh, it's a performance. Like, I got to get the people who are, watching to like buy into that. But we know that that's a mistake also. So, what would you
Again, you
say
get the
to
results.
that, to an actor or to a performer who gets stuck in that mindset of how the audience is receiving
Move.
them or validating their performance?
Mm-hmm. Um, that's a great question because I have this T-shirt that says "Find your fuck it" button, and this is the way you get to do that. You work hard. You have to do everything you know how to do to bring whatever you're doing to life and to truth. And then what you do to keep it very, very honest, for one, you have to be willing to show us your heart. That's the transparency. The other part is you knowing the character and doing the work so well that when you go to play, all you have to do is listen and be willing to be in the sandbox with your fellow player. It's your
Mhm.
willingness and your listening, because if you've done the work, you'll know what to say in any given moment.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? So that you're going from moment to moment to moment instead of saying they're going to love me or I want them to love me. No. Some of the most memorable characters are disliked characters, right? Because they may remind
Mhm.
you of, their aunt or someone that. So don't worry about, you cannot act under an obligation.
Hmm.
That's too much. Again, no fun.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And if you're already going into the performance worried about how it's being received, then you're not fully in character. You're not fully, being present like in that moment while you're doing the performance, because you're so worried about, like, oh, okay, do they like me, or oh, do they believe me? I think that's the other part of it that people get wrapped up in, is how believable is my performance,
Mhm.
Well,
so people
I
get
think if
stuck
they're
in
worried
that.
about that, then I feel like if they're worried about that, they've missed something
Hmm.
Mhm.
in the work that's not allowing them to fully release and play, to be honest with you. If that's what you're worried about. And because doubt shows up like gangbusters.
Mhm.
Hmm. See,
I
it's
mean, we've
it,
It
all
does.
been there. We've all had, that level of self-doubt to an extent, but it
Mhm.
really is about how are you if you are letting that take over how you perform and what you're doing to release it. And I love that's what you said. Like you just gotta release it and go play. I always
Oh,
love when because I've been involved in theater and film and all that since I was a kid, and that was always my favorite term when I first learned that. It's like, oh, we're playing. It is playing. It's
Yeah,
fun.
that's right.
it is.
It's a screenplay, it's a teleplay, it's a stage play, and you're playing a character.
You
They don't leave the
play
word play out at all.
exactly.
go. Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. Unfortunately, it got shut down, but we are back and we are here again. um,
When
and
did
it,
it go off?
I have no idea. See, this is we're starting to play here. And we're playing, and letting our little child have fun with this new application. So what happens happens, and we're not going to beat ourselves up over it. We're here now.
Nope. We
There you
here.
And
go.
so what I was getting at was I love how even when we would start doing class, and our real focus is where does your hurt lie? Where what is it? What is it that's holding you back? So the question I really wanted to ask you, and I think you kind of answered it somewhat, but I want to see if you can go a little bit deeper on it. Like, what do you think are some of the blockages that when it comes to unlocking our full potential, no matter what it is, whether it's an actor, whether it's a performer, or whatever other type of entertainment that the person may be under, what would you say are the top five blockages that people usually tend to go off of?
Oh boy. Well, um, being self-conscious,
Mhm.
um, also fear of failure.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Another block would be again the perfectionism. I'm not even gonna try this until I know I could do it right, or until I feel I could do it right. I'm not even gonna try it. So that becomes procrastination.
Hmm.
Perfectionism and
Mhm.
procrastination are usually cousins.
Hmm.
They go hand in
um,
hand.
Say that
yes,
again.
they do. Skipping the loo down the street. Um,
Literally.
and let's see, what's number five? So let's see, procrastination, perfectionism. Number five block. I said fear. I think, I got to tell you one thing. What I've found to be the most hurtful block is an actor whose family or parents don't support them
Hmm.
or said at some point,
Mm.
you'll never make it. You're being stupid. Do something you can make a living off of. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, so good, great. Go to law school. Do your monologues in the courtroom. Like things that
I don't know. You just hit a chord. You just hit a nerve. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, you got an
you
audience and
know,
everything up in there.
you know what I'm saying? So I think the dream killers become the biggest block for an artist, the naysayers. But not so much when you're an adult. It starts young. Though that
Yeah.
block, that's really painful.
Hmm.
Yeah. You're
Well, I
absolutely right.
told you. I was just gonna say really quick, just to piggyback off on that, Mariska. I think I told you years ago that I always wanted to act and do something in entertainment since I was in high school, and it was so difficult for me to get pull myself out of that what I would like to call like a pit almost,
Hmm.
because
Mhm.
while my family didn't wasn't as abrasive as that, it was always the question of, well, if you do that, how are you going to take care of yourself? If you do that, how are you going to, make sure that you take care of your family, pay bills? Because acting is not steady. Creative. A lot of people don't pay artists the way that they should. So I just wanted to resonate with that because I think that it should have, I think I should have started a whole lot earlier. But as we all
when you
know, the
wanted to.
universe, right, but the universe and God, will have you start when it's time for you to start. So this is not me complaining. It's just me just basically adding to that testimony.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there is such a difference when you do have family or whoever your support system is that does support,
Mhm.
your creative way, you wanting to be an actor. It gives you a level of confidence, you know.
Yeah.
My parents are, huge, huge. Like my mother likes to brag about me every second she gets, and my dad, you know, um, I'm a daddy's girl, so my
Um,
father's approval, I'm like, ugh, it's disgusting how much of a daddy's girl I am. Um, but like having his approval and having his not approval is the wrong word. Having his
support,
support,
right?
having his support, like literally, like before we started the shows today, I was on the phone with my dad because he called and he was like, "Hey, I just saw one of your commercials. It was so
Uh,
great." And like literally it was a commercial that I was
sweet.
in for like point 0.3, 0.02 seconds. But like he
He
saw
knows
me
his
and he
baby.
loved it
That's my
and he
baby.
called me and he's hype, you know? So I I I I know that everybody doesn't have that experience. And so
Yeah.
I'm sad for the people who don't. And if you are somebody out there who doesn't have that experience, call me. I will give you that experience because I'm here to support
Yeah.
you, support your
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah.
I will
Um,
say, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you now because
no, no, I just saying I'm all about that. I love being a part of someone's dream. Like that's my jam. Let's put it that way.
so.
Someone comes to me and says, "This is what I want to do." Okay. You tell me if I'm because I have lofty dreams, right? So anytime, when my spirit leaps, I'm like, yes. And that's most of the time. I rarely even if I'm going to direct something, if I read it and my spirit doesn't leap, I know I won't be in 210%. When an
Mhm.
artist comes to me and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And as I listen to them and their passion, I start getting the bubbles and the butterflies. And I'm like, yes, in. I'm in. I was like, just don't, I'm not going to be over here working harder than you. Okay. But but I've helped launch enough like one person shows to see dreams actually come true, and they're doing great and being asked for in different cities now. So I love the dream business.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that you said that.
Just
I
keep
just
killing me.
wanted to
Love
ask,
it.
so I think like as actors and as performers, we can all ourselves make a case for why it would be beneficial to come to you as an acting coach. That we understand like the benefits of having somebody like you, help guide us and help critique us and help us work through a process. But as you as an acting coach, why would you say to somebody, it'd be beneficial for you to, attend a class or to, have some sessions. Why would you encourage somebody to do that? Or what would you say they could get out of it?
A session with me.
Mm-hmm.
um well, you know some of the best actors have acting coaches, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can never learn too much. I'm still learning. I'm still reading and learning and finding new things to share with actors to be in service. Um, you have to take class. You have to. That's why, and I know I have a certain approach And I know, like I'll say to someone, they'll be like, "Oh, I've heard about you. I've heard about you." And I was like, "Okay." And I always like to know from whom. I always like to know because I built my business only by word of mouth. Like I'm just not like I don't have billboards and commercials and stuff. It's always like this is who I work with, right? So I always set up an assessment. Let's just have an assessment, half hour. You'll get to know me. You'll see if I'm a good fit for you, and I'll see if you're a good fit for me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because I'm aware, I've learned that I am not for everyone. Some people think I dig a little bit too deep, and like some people feel that their pain is sacred and they're not ready to share it. I'm the other way. I was like, your character deserves all of your attention and all that you're willing to give your character of yourself. And I can tell in that session if they're that kind of actor, or if they're willing to and not there in that half hour but are willing to. Or I could tell when they're just like, just I'm not there. So that's what I usually like to do when someone comes to me. I was like, let's set up an assessment and we'll see if we're a good fit.
mhm,
You know, if I can circle back a little bit, one of the things that I've always heard you say, and a couple other people who are very close friends of mine, is just say to do the work, right? And if I could add that to that list of five, make it an honorary sixth reason, a lot of people just don't cut it or just don't actually move forward is because they just don't want to do the work. They make the work and
Right.
not be fun. Like, I know I'm not a new actor anymore, but I'm still relatively young in the entertainment industry. So I know that I have a lot more stuff to learn. You know, dealing with you or dealing with another coach, I always ask, well, why wouldn't I? Unless there's a reason why I wouldn't go and try it out, I think it's an opportunity for me to get a different perspective and see
mhm,
it from a different eye that might unlock something that I didn't know that I had in me. And I'm always excited to be with you, even though we've been apart a little bit for some time. I'm always excited to do a class with you because I know that you're gonna dig deep and make me find something else that I didn't know. And what I do is I just add it to my repertoire. Oh, I didn't know I had this, and now I
Right.
will use this in all the performances that I've been doing or will be doing.
mhm.
Yeah, I call it the arsenal.
Yeah,
Add it to your arsenal. Yep.
Yeah. Booyaka!
So I'll listen. Um, so if you guys who are watching and listening, shout out to you guys. Haven't noticed by now, Mariska is an amazing acting coach, and I think I can speak for all thousands of us who have actually taken,
Wow.
who have been under your wing for quite some time, right? Um, and
Amazing.
I remember when I first, and this is okay, so we're gonna get into a little bit of your jam since you love the jam, um, and also like giving you these flowers that you deserve, right? I can remember walking into your class and feeling like I didn't belong, like because I'm not like everybody else or haven't. And again, this is the self doubt we're talking about, right? So feeling like I don't belong here because all these other people are doing A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z, have done A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z, and here I am, just paid for a class, recommended by a friend to come in, and then next thing you know, I am bawling, crying, letting out all of the things that I've been abusing myself and my 5-year-old self with, and then realizing that not only can I apply that to the craft of acting and everything else, but also apply it to life. Actually, apply a lot of the lessons that we learn as actors, as people who want to learn a script. I mean, acting itself is pretending to be someone else through their lived experience, also while you're living through their experience as well, from my perspective, right? Um,
Okay, you see my
I know.
wheels are
I
turning.
see.
The wheels are turning,
I
right?
see the wheels. She's like, I don't think that's actually accurate. But, but for me, Now again, like we've talked about me being far removed from the realm of acting, and I'm now more on the back end side of it, and I want to get back out there, right? But then I still have those moments where I want to attack myself because that self worth issue. I want to personally thank you for being one of the like foundational pieces when it comes to everything that Philip James, PJ Ryan, everything that I am when it comes to as an entertainer, as being on stage, on television, even this podcast. I want to thank you because I know that you get it from us when we're with you. But I think the world needs to also know really what you the energy that you exude here is just like a minuscule bit of what we'll actually feel once we're sitting in your class for at least 20 minutes. Like the first 20 minutes, you're like, oh wow, this is where I need to be. And I'm not sitting here trying to sell
Oh my
anybody
God.
any I'm not trying to sell you. I'm trying to tell you the truth.
Thank you. Thank you. I accept with my whole heart.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I want to hear a little bit about the Mariska method.
Ah,
There we go.
how to begin? Okay, well, I got to tell you, um, I mean, it's my whole life. It's my life's work put into service, right?
Mhm.
My first professional gig when I got paid, I was 8, right? Um, and then, but my first like really big professional gig was at 13, going on a European tour of the musical Raisin, the musical version of A Raisin in the Sun, because my mother was playing Mama. At one point, my brother was playing Travis, and I was in rehearsal just learning all the choreography. And they were like, well, put her in the show. I was like, cool, right? So I was
Yeah.
actually touring a performing arts group from Howard University in this musical. Now, so all of these lessons and being backstage, I learned what not to do, what to do, how not to treat people, um, and and such things as a performer. Okay, so fast forward, fast forward. I'm in Germany. I'm doing this huge one of those big, spectacular musicals they do with horses and big pools and stuff on the stage and singing in German.
Hmm.
And I was like, this was in O two, the beginning of O two. I said, I'm ready to go home. Like, meanwhile, don't get me wrong, I skipped over being on A Different World for 2 seasons. I skipped over being on Broadway when by the time I was 19. But I'm just saying, all of these lessons and working with all of these different people is all a part of the Mariska method. Now, when I came home, I started delving back into my acting and I found Susan Batson. A lot of what I do now is steeped in what she taught me for 9 years under her umbrella. Like I was her student and then I was one of her teachers for the last 5 years. So I studied for 4, then I started teaching and studying for the last 5 years. I was under her umbrella, and I said to myself, and I've had nightmare experiences with directors, like seriously being so berated that I had to break down in the middle of rehearsal and then come back and sing. After giving me a 10-minute break, trying to get myself together. So just all kinds of things. And I was like, I'll never make an actor feel like that. So when I decided to teach on my own, which was scary, I said, what do I wish I had have gotten that I didn't coming up? And it was the spiritual piece.
Mhm.
So the Mariska method is the spiritual piece for me. I could read as many books as I want. I can take as many classes as I want, audit as many, I could shadow as many directors as I need to. But it's a spiritual piece that I've never get in these environments. And that is the core of the Mariska method.
Mm,
I just
It's
want to point.
a spiritual journey of storytelling for me.
mm,
I was saying, I just want to point out how the fact of, I love how the universe works, how you cleared all the way up visually when you went right into spirit about this, because that's really what it really gives. Um,
That's why
I just love the symbolism of certain little itty bitty things. Go ahead. I'm just paying attention to mine.
it's
I'm
divine.
just happy to be in your
Divine.
presence, and you happy to you be here. We've missed you, and I think I want to also get back into a real quick conversation about why do you do New Year's Day classes, and
Oh my gosh.
why do you think it's
Well,
important?
well, I always say how you start your year is indicative as to how it'll play out. Do you want to start it a drunken hangover mess? Then there you'll be. But if you want to start it in doing what you love around like spirited people, come to
mhm.
class, do a class, on New Year's Day. Um, and I make it later in the day so that there is some recovery time. You can have breakfast, coffee in you.
Thank
I
you
ain't
Drink
trying
so
your
to stop
Bloody
a
much.
party.
Mary.
I ain't,
Baby.
I ain't trying to stop a party, but I'll tell you,
Okay.
don't let it don't let it stop you, because I remember many a New Year's Day I'd go around this circle. You know the circle exercise.
Hmm.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
Oh.
go around the circle asking awareness, and I was like, "Woo!" Like it's still last night there, but I don't care, because I tell you, by the time we get to the work, they're like fired up and they're in it. So I say, don't let that be an excuse, because that'll continue to be an excuse. You'll always find an excuse not to show up for yourself. You will
Mhm.
always find an excuse.
I
When you
remember
start
the
the year
first.
off like that, you're gonna find an excuse whenever you need to find an excuse.
Yep.
I remember the first time that PJ told me about. I think PJ is the one that had
Hmm.
introduced me to you. I remember when PJ told me about it, and he was like, there's this class on New Year's Day that you go to, and it was a long, drawn out, deafening silence pause. I was all like, after I've been out all night,
You said New
what?
Year's
Yeah,
Day?
yeah, yeah. Let's get
And
this
and and,
work.
and
Let's get
but
this
but
work.
it's funny,
Let's do
but it's
it.
funny because I after that very awkward long pause, I said, you know what, I really want to do this. I really want to get into my craft a lot more, and I did it. And I think that was literally maybe a year, maybe I think that might have been a year after I started actually acting. I said, let me just start really going into it deep. And since then, I've taken classes with you. I've taken classes with a couple of other people. I mean, your friend Maureen, Miss Maureen Brown. I take classes with her biweekly, working on
I love
vocals.
that.
So I'm ready.
What year was that? What year was that when you came to the first New Year's Day class?
Oh, don't get me to lie. Was it 2019?
2019.
Then yeah, okay, then
He said,
2019.
"Don't get me to lying."
I remember. You know what? And so the reason why I remember, because I remember that circle specifically, and I remember during that time, I think I was going through something as well, and I came in a little hungover, and I remember my response was, "Why do I keep doing this to myself?" And I remember yours, Red, and I remember how you screamed, and I remember the feeling and the emotion you let out. And when we were walking to
It
the
was
train
physical,
afterwards,
wasn't it?
huh? Yeah, when we walk in the train,
It was.
he said he had never felt like something like this before. Um,
Mm,
and really enjoyed it, not just for being able to let out, but just being able to like be yourself and be in a room full of other people who aren't perfect, who are learning, and who can
yeah,
use their life experiences
Yeah.
and their whoever that person was that we saw when we closed our eyes, or emotion, or whatever it was,
yeah.
to push forward with what we needed to get accomplished, which was our monologue that we chose. And then for me
Well,
again, Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Monologue. I do a monologue for New Year's Day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I choose the
Yeah.
monologue for New Year's Day.
Hmm.
Everybody does the same monologue, but everyone tells their own story.
Hmm.
That's the
Mhm.
beauty. That's the beauty of it. Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask, I know we've heard from you a little bit about how you do what you do and why you do what you do. And I love when you were talking about one of the main motivating things that keeps you doing what you do is like the actor's connection and dedication and joy from it and being able to be a part of that process,
Yeah.
which is something we could all just dream to have with our acting coach. So the fact that that's a goal for you too, and you get just as much joy out of it as we do is just so lovely to hear. Um, as we're going into this new year, we're all just kind of like reevaluating like our goals and where we are and where we want to get to and how we want to get there. What are some of the new goals or old goals that or just goals that you have for yourself and your career and how you planning on getting there? Like what are the new focuses going to be for you?
Yeah. It's interesting. I started teaching at universities. Well, only one so far, Purchase. I was teaching at Purchase, which I love because the juniors and seniors there, they're part of a conservatory. This January, I was going to start teaching at York, but I decided not to do it um, for a few reasons. But what really solidified my choice or my decision was, we've been in lockdown so long, and before all of this I was going to Atlanta, Philly, Washington, Houston, LA. I said that's going to be my 23 goal. I want to do that again. I want to be off of Zoom, and I want to be back in these cities where I
Mhm.
can be in the room with these actors. That's one of my top goals for 23. I want to be in the room with you, the actor, again. Like I cannot blow a white. Okay. I cannot
Praise the Lord.
wait. Yeah.
Can we get that
That's
same
one of my
energy to float back over to auditions also? I'm so tired of self tapes. I want to be in the room.
Yes, come on now. Now, speaking of
right.
speaking of in the room, and we've mentioned this earlier, you work with some amazing people, right? So I'm just gonna go right here, and I want you to quickly, if you can, like let's let's talk about
Jeez, jeez.
yeah, and these are just a few.
Wow, look at the beautiful people.
Look
Oh,
at all these beautiful,
they are
beautiful
highly
melanated people,
melanated.
highly
They're
melanated
highly
people.
Yes.
melanated. I gotta see this. Look what this is. Oh my God, that is
So
so dope.
when it
Who
comes
did
to,
that?
you
I
know,
love it.
I've been
I
wanting to
love
like hurry
it.
up and get to this one because here's the part about it. Like when it comes
That's
when
gorgeous.
you say you have worked with some beautiful people and you have helped a lot of people in their careers, my question to
Yeah.
you when it comes to, let's say when it comes to a Kerry Washington or Tasha Smith or a Robert Morgan, we're not going to individualize, but when it comes to working with people that you eventually see on in the big screen and see them really doing well, what's the one thing that goes through your mind, especially when you probably remember them when they first started, or like what is it that you really feel when you see these beautiful,
You
highly
know,
melanated faces?
I gotta tell you, some people I've been asked, Mariska, do you have kids? And I say, I have actors.
Mhm.
And that's just how I feel. I feel like every one of them own a special part of my heart. And thank God I'm large hearted. That's part of my contract. You know how I tell you guys make a contract?
Mm,
One of my
Mm.
one of my self adjectives is large hearted. That's part of the legacy I want to leave. So everyone I work with has a special part and place in my heart. And when I see the work, every now and again, it's rare that I get to be their onset coach, especially now during this time.
Mhm.
Um, but so we do the work. Sometimes they come here to the preparatory. Sometimes we do on Zoom. But when I see the work, it's to me, it's like the fruits of my labor, and I feel like their mom, you know what I mean? Or like their favorite aunt, and I really, really appreciate that they trust me. You don't really get anywhere as an acting coach if there's no trust, right?
Mm.
Because they're sharing these deep, tender, vulnerable things with you. Like I am the keeper of many a secret. Like nothing anyone will ever tells me they'll never hear it from my angle. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't be here going into my 17th year if that was my MO. Like, oh, you can't tell Mariska nothing. That's some crap, right? So
Mhm.
I treat each relationship with my actor precious. It's all very, very precious.
Mhm.
There better
And
be a seat in that heart for me. That's all I gotta
Okay,
say.
it
absolutely,
can, there better be a row, something.
wait,
A
you
bed,
think
I
you
don't
think
care.
I'd be here if I didn't
Come
love
on
you,
now.
Mofo?
Come on.
I, I,
She's here, ain't she?
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to claim my spot. I'm sorry. I'm
Not
sorry.
even that she. Okay, FY. Okay, full disclosure, guys. Not even that she's here, right? She like hit me up and said, "Listen, I need to be on your show." Okay, I'm so proud of
Yeah,
you.
I said I wanted to play with y'all. I wanted to come and play with
And
y'all.
so so I've been wanting to have you on, but I did not want to do it like this live streaming is fun. Zoom fun. Thank God this isn't on Zoom, right? But I wanted us to be in the room together. So I can't wait
Oh,
for us to actually get to a different studio space where we can actually be in the room. I've been saying to Blair for a long time, and even when we had Yushi on, Yushi was supposed to come to that New Year's Day class, and it was me, Yushi, and Chris and Red. We were all going to come together, but instead, I think Stephanie and Laurie was there. Um,
oh yeah, Lori.
yeah, so like, and it's the important thing also about when you come to these classes, the connections that we make, not just with you, but with each other, the family that we begin
It's
to build.
tribe.
And find your tribe, build your colony, right?
It's a tribe. I'm telling you. I was just with Nafisa for the premiere of I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Mhm.
And another one of my actors, because I coached Nafisa for that role, right? Another one of my actors, Chastity, she flew all the way from LA to be with Nafisa to support her. Now they met in my class in '06.
Hmm.
That's how long I've been working with those two. And
Wow.
so, and there are two other young ladies in that very first class. They're still buddy, 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 and that really warms my heart. Like
Mhm.
this, like I do. I like to create that tribe, that atmosphere of, you two, y'all, just a vibe tribe.
Yeah.
I want to
Mhm.
correct
Vibe
myself. It was
tribe.
actually 2018 that you were there at the class, right?
You were so
Sorry.
sure too.
I listen, but I know how to.
I
I was
know
wrong.
you was telling me off.
I was, and when you said 2019, I thought it felt longer than that.
Yeah,
But
no, it was 2018.
I
2018.
figured,
No, it was definitely 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
We PJ, we give you the room for mistakes. That's okay. We will give you room for
So speaking
error.
so speaking of mistakes, I'm gonna ask you this question. And I we would be remiss if we jumped over this important part of your foundation. As far as you being a backstage baby.
yeah.
As far as who your mother is. I don't wanna I want you to feel completely comfortable. But
No, no, I'm used to it.
yeah, and
I'm so,
said I was trying to actually upload, and there'll be in the audio version a message that she said to us as actors during that day. Um, and she was telling us to live, tell our stories, be who we are. Don't let nobody else tell you what you can't, because what they used to call me is this, but look where I'm at now and look what I've created and look what you guys are doing. My question is to you is, what has that what has that been like of to be of such an amazing woman? What lessons did she really instill with you specifically, Mariska, and then Mariska Shanice, and then Mariska Shanice Phillips as the actor?
Well, for both, she instilled a strong work ethic.
Mhm.
Like I watched her work from audition to opening night. Sometimes she'd fall asleep at the dining room table, script facing script, pencil just sticking up, script, you know. I'm like, Mom, what you doing? Let's go to bed. So she was a workhorse, hard worker. She loved studying. So that whole work ethic that I have definitely straight from her,
Hmm.
right? And as a that was human being and actor. Human being and actor, we're not quitters. She,
Mhm.
she still says a winner never quits and a quitter never wins.
Mm,
Mhm.
Still
Amen.
says that. Yeah. So as you can see, I think they all go hand in hand. The life lessons, I don't like to quit anything. I don't mind. I failed. I'll just do another approach.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll just take another approach because I was like, but I like it. I'm going to try it this way now.
Yep.
So yeah, I think those are the main top two things.
And I'm glad that you
And to listen to people because I'm still praying for myself for this, but when I was younger I could not remember a name to save my life.
hmm
Mhm.
Soon as they
you and me
tell me,
both.
it's gone.
You
And
gotta say it 7 times within the first, like,
Yeah,
5 minutes of meeting
with
them.
it's so
intense eye
hard.
contact.
I mean, not for nothing, but I mean, I wish you could imagine how many people I meet in a year.
Mhm.
And I remember the ones who stay around me, that are in a closer proximity of me, and when I don't remember someone, they get so upset with me and I feel so badly. But when I was younger, like in my teens, I'd be like, what's their name again? I'd be like, I don't know. And she was like, you better start caring about people.
Mm,
Mm.
mm.
I was like, oh, Slade.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
But that's a word.
Oh no. And so that put me on the on the road to making a concerted effort to remember names. For real. Even when I do like these big, huge, like I've done like crazy big workshops. Now I know to bring like name tags just for the first, few hours. I just need to, I mean, hey, whatever works. I don't want to call you somebody else's name. So let's just do a little name tag like that and, keep it moving. And by as we keep working, it'll come to me easier.
Mhm. The more
So
time you
speaking
spend with the
speaking of
person.
names, speaking of names really quickly, is there anybody I know I know your mother has a big impact on you already, but is there anybody in particular that inspires you? Because as we said, we all have our heroes, right? Is there anybody
Yeah.
that stands out to you?
Well, the reason I went to school for directing was because of Debbie Allen. As I was watching her command that soundstage during A Different World, I was like, I want to do that one day. So I just started school for directing out there at LACC. And she was very encouraging. She was like, I heard. Okay, we'll see. And then like right before the shut, well, not right before the shutdown, but she invited me out to shadow her on Grey's Anatomy for a whole month.
Mm.
So I got to see it in real time. It was just like that whole thing, just that whole world blew my mind. I was like, there's so much money in this room. Like I was like, this is like millions of dollars per episode. It was crazy, but I
Mhm.
learned so much. So yeah, Debbie Allen inspires me. Um, I was inspired by Susan Batson, of course. Like, I hadn't thought about teaching until I saw how she changed lives. And after a couple of years, I was like, I'm gonna want to do that. So, the opportunity to she dropped me off at Penn Station in a cab one time, and I was like, Miss Batson, I wanted to ask you a question. She's like, yes, dear. I was like, I would like to maybe try to teach.
Mm.
Hush fell over Jerusalem. I am here. Here goes my critic. Fuck shit, stupid. Why did you say anything? Everything is going
The attack.
right.
The
There's my critic.
internal attack.
And then
It,
finally, after
yeah.
my stomach started turning in knots, she said, that might not be a bad idea. Keep showing up, kiddo. And
Mm.
to me, if I don't hear a no, that's more of a yes.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So I just
There
kept
you
showing
go.
up. Even if when I couldn't even afford to take class, she'd let me sit in the back. I'd be like, I had a notebook called the Protege, a big old purple notebook. I named it the Protege because I was soaking in everything. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm just so happy to have you here, Mariska. Like I have a list of questions that I want to ask you, and I know we don't want to hold you for the whole amount of time, even though I really want to lock the door and never let you out. Um, for those who,
Yeah.
That's kidnapping.
it's well,
That is called kidnapping.
That's
I
kidnapping.
mean, you'll get a good meal every now and again.
Not every now and again. You ate
You're a
yesterday.
hospitable
Thanks for
captor.
the water. Thanks for the water.
You're welcome. Thank you. No, I'm just joking, y'all. Because if ever something, listen, it ain't me.
Excuse me. Let me just take a little sip, okay?
No, go ahead. Of course. Um, really quick, I just want to ask you this, especially for those people who are aspiring to be actors, um, who want to get into this. We've talked a lot about the internal. Um, right now, we're experiencing, like, imagine like in music, right? How when it comes to like female rap, everybody looks like a stripper, instead of like actually the talent that they actually exude. What would you say is a misconception for both men and women who want to become actors?
Well, the reason I like to expand my reach as an acting coach is for that question because, people come in drones to LA and New York, all hoping for that dream, but they're not really clear on what it takes, to either get there or sustain it. Who wants to be a one hit wonder, right? Or who wants to come and book a job and just because they have a lot of followers or they have white teeth and great hair and, chiseled bodies, right? Um, I want them I think the misconception is that you just have to look beautiful or be beautiful to be a star. And that kind of saddens me because where's the effort? What are you willing to, where's the blood and sweat and skin in the game? You got to put blood, sweat, and skin in the game as far as I'm concerned. Work hard, play hard. I think that's the largest misconception to me, and that it's easy. This is the Miss Bassett says this is the hardest profession in the world. If there's something else you think you want to do or an inkling to do that.
The end. Roll
Okay.
those
Period.
credits.
And scene. That's right.
And one last question.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe two more. But I just want to hold you just for a little bit longer, right? Um, how do you feel about people who imitate or emulate another actor in order, like, I want to be this person, so I must become like, if Viola Davis or Kimberly Elise can let out these immediate cries, how do I like immediately try to be like this person, thinking that's going to bring me success, versus actually going through it and actually understanding the.
That's so exhausting.
It isn't it though? Isn't it? Everybody thinks that you're supposed to be like somebody else in order for you to be
So
successful.
exhausting.
Why can't you just be
Um,
yourself?
no, see, you have to, you know, here's the thing. When you have an audition, they're going to see maybe 25 to 30, if not more people for that same role. And everyone has to come with their own story that's uniquely them. You have to find your own voice. I mean, it's great to study
Mm,
the greats. It's great to study the people who move you, but you can't emulate or mock. I did hear Viola Davis say, "Us as actors, we are thieves."
Mm.
And I love that. We could pull a little bit of this. We can remember a moment and says, "Oh, okay, let me file that away. I'm going to remember this kind of a moment. When can I play that? I'd love to play that moment." And then you might get a script and be like, "Ha!" But it's not to do it like it's not to do it like Viola did it. It's to bring it into your truth and still have that moment, to do it that's unique to your storytelling, because the truth is that we all have the same basic needs, right? It's just how we tell our story is what penetrates and what connects and touches the consciousness of the recipient. And there's no way you're going to do that if you're trying to act like Viola Davis, or you're trying to act like Angela Bassett or Denzel Washington. That's not authentic to who you are.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it can probably even come off sounding really silly too,
Yeah.
Look
It'll
at this.
sound
because
like
Look at this. Look. Somebody come look at this. Somebody come look at this.
you sitting
it'll
there
sound like
trying to
acting
emulate the
straight
person, right?
Mm.
acting. Yeah.
I had promised I wasn't going to ask anymore, so I can, but I don't want to monopolize too much more of your time.
I don't know. I'm just, I'm really grateful that this worked out, the timing of it, and I'm just happy that I was able to share something, before the holidays, and I just want actors to stay prepared, Don't get lazy, don't get complacent. No, 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 no. We're not having that. No, no, no. It's I've been I'll tell you this. I'll tell you, well, all the actors that I work with, they're so unique and they all bring something interesting to the table, it's hard to single someone out because they all bring something. Like Shamika Cotton, she does this, like she loves the psychology of who the character is. I've been working with Nicole Bahari. She just got cast as a regular on the morning show. She'll be, one of the series regulars in seasons three. She loves subtext. What is she really saying? Okay, these are the words, but what's really going on way underneath? You could go to the bottom of that and lift it into the words. So it's like so many ways to tell stories and to make it your own. I just don't want you guys to get complacent and stop learning. There's always something to learn. I got to tell you, even, I'm still learning too. Every session that I teach, I learn something, new about the actor, or new to say, oh, and I make notes too as I teach. So just keep learning, and I hope that I've inspired you to start your year off in your greatness and embracing your craft.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
I won't speak for the other two, but I know that you definitely have for me. Every time I speak to you, every time I see you on Instagram Live, every time that I see you anywhere, I'm always very inspired, and I'm just ready to just put in more work. So I think from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of highly melanated's heart, we want to just say thank you so much for being on with us, showing us a
You're
couple of your
welcome.
gems, because we know that you have so many more. Mariska, where is the best place everybody can find you if they want to, do the jam session at the beginning of the year, January 1st, or just even other things?
www.marishkasphillips.com.
Nice and
The
simple.
end.
It's all right there, folks. Just go right there. Don't
Anything
ask
Everything
for
else
nothing.
after that
on
still
the
lands.
website.
It, the preparatory, you'll see all the schedules. It's a hyperlink in the upper right corner on the website. Boom, you'll see all the classes. That's where you sign up. Because right after New Year's Day, we're going into a scene study class that weekend. And so just to keep the ball rolling, and then now I'm putting together the workshops to go. Atlanta's first
Mhm.
for pilot season, and then I'm gonna branch out from there. But I'm putting it all together. I see Shanae in here. I'm gonna need a space in Atlanta. I'm gonna be looking shopping for
Sh-
venues, Shanae,
Shanae,
for Sister
Shanae, get
Alice.
on it.
Shanae Commodore.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah. Oh, you remember the other thing besides that, I'm looking forward to launching more of the one person shows that I've been in development with.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
the one that's been in longevity so far is Down to Eartha, right? About Eartha Kitt. Also, I have, thank you, Shanae. I have one with Naima Mora, called The Amazing Adventures of a Woman in Need. She plays three different characters, but she books ended with herself. She won America's Next Top Model, but she is really has has turned out to be a fabulous actress. And we started working together back when I was teaching with Miss Batson in '07. Uh, we took a little break, but she's been back and more consistent. So that's another show. I have one coming out with Shanae. I can't. That's her story to tell. What it's about, but we've been in development for that. So yeah. So I mean, there are a few coming up, and I that's still in development, but I'm very excited to launch those in 23 as well.
That
I
sounds
might
amazing.
um I might have to reach out to you for a couple of pointers. I've always wanted to do a one man show.
Well,
So
you got enough presence and light and talent to hold an audience for an hour. You do. A
well,
one
thank
person
you. I
show could
appreciate that.
be from 50 minutes to no longer than like 70, 75 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You've got
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
I don't know your work, Blair, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. PJ,
Yes,
you got
thank you
that.
Blair
You
so
got
is
that.
all
much.
over.
But yeah, I'm
We
looking.
have to.
Blair's all over the place.
No, she no like that. Like you can find
Blair
her. You can find her several. Like Blair.
Blair
You're on this.
does the
You're
work.
Blair. You need to get to a class because I'm
Man.
telling you.
Blair does
Yes,
the work.
yes.
So I'm very eager to come to a
Yeah.
class. So it's exciting. The website, I will be on it.
Wait. I'm sorry, but you said PJ. What were you gonna say? PJ what?
Okay.
PJ what? Because you said
I said you
Chris.
got that good presence too.
Okay, yeah.
I said, PJ, you got that presence. Absolutely.
PJ, is
You
that
fill
is
you
that
fill
is
the
that
stage.
validation that you're seeking?
And you know what? Shout out. It is, and I am not unapologetically unafraid to beat it because remember again. So this is thank you again, so much for coming because you reset this whole entire experience. Because again, this is the and here's the last thing I'm going to say. this is the only live stream we've done so far for the year of 2022. Everything else has been we were recorded and then I'll edit it, put it out. We've done live streams before in the past, so this is the first time we've done one in quite some time, plus a brand new program. So setting this up, I'm glad it even shut down halfway through it and started over, because it reset the energy just like we would. And that's your person. Go. Like, it reminds me of what it's like to be in your class when you're like, okay, that feeling, go. Keep going. And so I really,
right. That's the section.
That's your character. So I really, again, want to thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
And thank you for showing all the people who are watching, if you really want to do this, if you really want to be an actor, if you want to be in some form of entertainment, it requires something from you. And what it requires for you is to look within to know if this is really what you want to do. Because if not, what did America say? You want to do something else? Go do that.
Go do that.
Go do that.
That's gonna be the thing. If you want to do something else, do that.
Go do that.
Okay. So, guys, thank you for taking the time to listen and watch another episode of.
It's gonna be living. Where is this gonna live? So I can tell people where it's gonna live. Or are you gonna put a post and tag me, and then I can share?
I'm gonna have all of that taken care of. I'm actually gonna say it right now, and then I'm also gonna share it with you personally. So you see,
okay.
It's all like, it's going to chop it up, and we're working at getting. You're not leaving yet. Don't you dare walk out of here.
Let her keep throwing kisses, though.
Yes, please give us kisses. She's like, all right, bye, y'all. Okay, thank you so much for having me. Oh my God, thank you so much. But thank you guys for taking the time to watch and listen to another episode of Highly Motherfucking Melanated. Gotta whisper it because we in the mama house, okay? But I'm still always gonna say it because one of our favorite actors, Samuel L. Jackson, just like we honor this man. So that's how I choose to honor him every single. Highly
Motherfucking melanated.
Yes, that. As always, guys, you can take, for those of you who are watching, if you have Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, wherever you find podcasts, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Pandora, we're available everywhere. All you gotta do is search Highly Melanated. For those of you watching on YouTube or on Facebook, all you gotta do is just go to Google and type in Highly Melanated Podcast, and I guarantee you we'll pop up. This will be in the description on wherever this will be. Shout out to you, Mariska. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and all the Mariska-ettes out there that are watching. I just gave y'all a name. Love it.
Mariska-ettes.
All the Mariska-ettes out there.
I love that.
Oh no, we can call them the M&Ms.
She said, "I challenge you to get Mariska-fied." I was like, "You did not."
Everybody needs to be
Mariska-fied. Okay.
I love that. I was like, "Okay, that's a hashtag."
Yes, get Mariska-fied. You know what? So, on that note, peace, love, and
get Mariska-fied.
Mariska-fied. I like it.
Yeah. Happy holidays, everyone.
All right. Yes.